For lesson 2.3, we're going to look at our tray preparation and seeding area. And this is where another place where a lot of work happens. So when I talk about tray preparation, I'm talking about basically filling trays with soil so they're ready for sowing when the time comes. So here's a shot of the area that we have. It's a covered area with a 4x8 bench here. It's got water. It doesn't have it here, but it actually has light, so we can work a little later in the day. And I'll take a look at some of the features as we move along here. So this is a good space. I can actually have 4 people working at once, though usually it's only 1 or 2 in terms of prepping trays together or doing seeding together. And this is really, it's right adjacent to the greenhouse and our harvest area, so it's very close. The covering is really important because it keeps you protected in the winter from the rain. And in the summer, what it does is it keeps the sun off you, and that actually goes a long, long way. Having it contained like this means you can actually use an outdoor propane heater to keep yourself warm as well. So it's a good space. The basic bench is just, the bench design is actually very much like the ones we looked at with the growing benches. It's just a 2x4 frame with a piece of plywood, and this one has a piece of coroplast on it. Once again, this could be stainless steel. The coroplast was something we used in the beginning to keep things less expensive, and it's pretty durable and also easy to keep sanitary. But ideally, you would scale this stuff up into stainless steel if you can. You can see there's some storage space under these benches, and we'll take a look at that as well. And then other little things, we just have some charts up here. So we have all the information people need for all the crops we're growing. And we've got a squeegee and a sponge here to clean the benches. So everything is right where we need it. And once again, like the equipment's easy to find. The lumber and the coroplast are all very, very common. Another reason to have the area covered as well is it kind of keeps the risk of bird droppings as well. So if you have a bird flying overhead, you don't have any risk of any droppings ending up on a tray as you're preparing it. So here's just another shot, and this is a winter shot. So things are much colder in the winter. We have to find various ways to keep comfortable. We often do have little propane heaters, and then we actually use warm water to water the crops as well to help them along, because we're usually sowing them into very, very cold soil. So as I mentioned, we have some storage space under these benches. So this one just lifts up, and so we've got 3 bins there which have our seeds that we're using most regularly. And then those other benches there we actually use for soaking our seeds. So once again, we're trying to make really, really efficient use of our space. Even though we want things separated and spread out, we don't want to be walking all around and covering too much ground if we can do everything in a very contained area. So this is a fairly simple idea here. All you're looking at basically is a nice big workbench where you can work with others, having a covering to protect you from the elements. You definitely need water with a hose and nozzle. The lights really help if you need to work later in the day, especially in the shoulder and winter seasons. We have a storage space, and I'll get into that afterwards, right next there where we can prep a whole bunch of trays with soil and store them so they're ready when it comes time to seeding. And then just, any information we need, like our seeding rates, our sanitation rates, things like that, those are all there hung up in some form or another. So over time, you might find your first couple iterations are lacking something, but you just keep adding to it so you've got everything you need at hand. That makes the work just very simple, gives you a very, very good workflow, and makes it much easier to train new staff as they come on.